Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, I hope people share this video to Joe Rogan because I think he owes me an apology. Because he single-handedly ruined what could have been a great interview. So, F you, Joe Rogan. You owe me an apology. What's up, everyone? Welcome to my channel. I am Mark. You're watching Trading with a Dummy, the place where you get entertained and educated at the same time. Today the market is closed. It is Friday. I'm shooting this on a Friday, and I decided I am going to tell you guys a story. Now listen, I usually don't do this. Don't expect this to happen often because this is a very rare situation. This was kind of funny. It bothered me just a little bit, but at the same time it was funny, and I was like, I have to share this because it's just honestly unbelievable what just happened. So as you guys know, I do these long format interviews with people that I am interested in. I would say 99.9% of the time I have no issues setting up appointments, sitting down with people, having a conversation. Of course, there's been times where I've set up an interview with a person and they just didn't show up. There has been times where they commit and they're like, sure, like can I get the questions beforehand? And I'm like, I don't do that. We just kind of wing it. I come in like Joe Rogan style and we have conversations, but I kind of have an idea where I'm going to lead it to. And obviously the whole purpose is for you to come on, talk about your background, talk about how you got to where you're at. And then in the end, we're going to talk about whatever trading course you're selling, if you're selling one. And typically I also tell them, I will ask you, do you make more money selling courses or trading? And sometimes that rubs people the wrong way and they just opt not to do the interview. And that's fine, no hard feelings, just move on, no big deal. By the ways, I have gotten a lot of DMs, people are asking me when is the SG interview dropping. So this is the thing we scheduled, but he had to reschedule due to an emergency and we haven't been able to link up since. So I'm sorry, hopefully it will come out soon. I really look forward to sitting down with him. So, you know, cross our fingers, hopefully it happens. But the reason why I'm doing this one is because I did announce to quite a few people that I was going to be interviewing Peter Tuchman, aka the Einstein of Wall Street. If you don't know who he is, I'm sure you probably have seen him at one point or another, especially if you have the CNBC app, because he is the most photographed Wall Street personality in the world, apparently, because he kind of looks like Albert Einstein. And come to find out, he also sells courses, and I heard his courses are pretty decent. So I was like, perfect, I would love to sit down with him, get to know this guy. So I reached out to him about a month, maybe 2 months ago, and I was like, hey, my name is Mark. I have a channel called Trading with a Dummy. I don't have a lot of followers, but I would love for you to come on so that my followers and the community that I'm around will get to see people who actually work on Wall Street and can inform them on some of the stuff that I think we may be missing out on. And I was very surprised. He was like, yes, I would love to. And we go back and forth. We try to, you know, schedule a time. Well, earlier this week, I reached out to him and I was like, hey, Peter, how you doing? Just wanted to see if you are free this weekend. And he said, yes, I am. Here's my number. Give me a call tomorrow afternoon. I said, will do. Unfortunately, some of you guys know what I do for a living, but there was some stuff that went down with Ukraine and Russia. I got caught up all afternoon. I wasn't able to text him or hit him up. So once I got off work, I shot him a text. I was like, hey, I apologize, Peter. I was like, I got caught up in the whole Ukraine-Russia incident. And, but are you still available this weekend? Didn't hear anything back. This is very common. It happens. People get busy, so it's whatever. So the next day I waited, which is today, Friday, and I hit him up this morning and I said, hey, Peter, we're reaching out again to see if you're still free. And he said, hey, Mark, I will get it done. So I was like, perfect. This will work. We actually get to sit down. We get to have a conversation. And I was like, okay, just let me know what time works best for you. I'm East Coast. Because trust me, I've made the mistake before where I've set up interviews with people and I didn't realize that they're on the West Coast or another time zone in another country. And there's sometimes miscommunication. So I'll make it very specific that I am on the East Coast. And he was like, where are you? I was like, I'm in Orlando. He was like, cool. Perfect. Some time goes by. I go on a lunch break. He gives me a call. And it says, Peter Tuchman. I was like, oh, awesome. I pick it up and he's like, hey, Mark, it is Peter. I was like, hey, Peter, how's it going? Conversation was very pleasant. And he said, good. He's like, hey, tell me a little bit about your podcast format. So, like I usually always do, I said this. And I know this is verbatim because I say the same thing over and over when people ask me. I said this. It's like, it's a Joe Rogan style interview. I'm trying to be the Joe Rogan of financial literacy. Basically, we sit down, we have a conversation, we talk about your past, and then it will eventually lead into how you got onto the New York Stock Exchange, and then eventually we talk about what you're doing now and how you end up becoming the most popular photographed personality on CNBC app and NBC and etc. And then we're gonna end it with you talking about the course that you're selling. And then this is where the conversation went left. He laughed and said, haha, Joe Rogan, no. Click and hung up.
What do you say we cut the chit-chat? A-hole.
And I was like, damn, that was strange. That kind of hurt. It's like, I know I don't have like a huge following. I have only 4,411 followers, not that I'm counting. But I was like, I know my podcast is not like super big, but I think I get pretty decent views, and I think the people enjoy the content that I create. So I was a little hurt. I sit down, but then he sends me a text message, and it says the following: "Go, Joe Rogan is a Nazi. I'm sorry, I can't talk to you." I think he misspelled go. I think he's trying to say something else, like just maybe the go wasn't supposed to be in there, but. And then he's followed it with another text message saying, I am sorry, but you lost me at the Joe Rogan part. No one has ever described their interview process with a man who is such a hateful piece of shit. So anyway, I wish you all the best. So I was a little shocked and offended. I was like, what the hell? I was like, obviously, I don't think you're familiar with my content at all, which means that you never looked into what I do. But I responded. And I was being very nice. I tried not to be rude, but this is what I said. Oh, wow. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way and automatically judge me off of how I describe my interview style. It's very strange because I sat and I interviewed one of your buddies and I was trying to get my audience exposed to people on Wall Street. I use the term Joe Rogan simply because his interview style is long and he doesn't prepare and he just has good conversations. But I can see you judge me off of a simple statement without checking out my content, what I do, and how I try to help people within my community. Thank you for the call and the hang up. Because the hang up shit did kind of piss me off. Then he responded with, you represent yourself by calling up a personality who was the most distasteful piece of shit human being on this earth as something to describe your style as, in my opinion, would be very telling. Just for the future, you should be distancing yourself from anything to do with Joe Rogan and not comparing yourself to him in any way. It's a shame because I was very excited about the interview. So I don't think he likes Joe Rogan.
Like a gazelle? Like an elk? He landed again, he ran. He scored a touchdown!
I, of course, responded. I said, it's a shame as well. I really thought you would have been a great guest and someone to talk to that I could introduce to my audience, especially within the black community. We don't have a lot of people on Wall Street that come on our shows. And I was honored to have people like the trade professor and many others that have come on. But I can see you have extreme hatefulness for a personality that you and I both don't know. Anyways, thank you for even entertaining the possibility, but I got to be very blunt. You were very rude to a person you don't know and judgmental for no reason. Which is very true. Like, you don't know me. I'm actually a really nice guy. And I thought we had great conversations in the past, and if you watch my content, you can see I think I'm kind of a likable guy. It's just, I was very shocked. And then he responded, of course, my dear friend, I asked you to describe what you expect on the webcast, and you called up the most hateful, despicable human being on earth. Is someone that your style is like someone who is a predator of women, a racist, a Nazi, and you thought that was a good idea to get my attention. No, I just honestly, I like his style. His stuff is entertaining. I guess I could have said Howard Stern, but anyways, I'm going to start saying long format interview podcast. That's what my wife just told me to say instead of, bringing up people who have long formatted conversations, because I do. I like listening to Joe Rogan. I like listening to Howard Stern. I like listening to Charlamagne the God. I like listening to a lot of long format conversations. If you want to be real, look at the statistics. Joe Rogan is kind of the #1 podcast in America, or in the world to be exact. But anyways, he continued with another text. There is a great saying that Maya Angelou said, when someone tells you who they are, believe them. So I suggest in the future, when you describe yourself and your style, perhaps Joe Rogan is not the best person to compare yourself to. And then he blocked me. Literally, he blocked me. On Instagram, on a text message that I responded, just they didn't go through because it went from iMessage read to sent as a text message, which means they just ignored it. But yeah, that was very strange. So I'm sorry, guys. I don't think Peter Tuchman is gonna come on Trading with a Dummy ever. Yeah, that's apparently not gonna happen because I described myself as a Nazi, a racist, and a rapist. By the ways, a lot of you guys do know what I do for a living, right? So what I realized, and unfortunately this is one of these situations, this is why I wanted to do this right here, because just because people don't agree with certain things doesn't mean that person is who they like. Does that make sense? For example, if Peter had said, I like Joe Biden, I wouldn't care. If he had said, I like Donald Trump, I wouldn't care. Had he come to me and said, hey man, I really like Harvey Weinstein movies that he produced, I wouldn't care. And I wouldn't judge him and say, hey, you're a piece of shit. You're a racist. You're a liar. I can't believe you would even say you like Harvey Weinstein. I don't care how good Shakespeare in Love is, or every single one of Quentin Tarantino movies.
Django is a free man, you understand? You can't treat him like any of the other niggas around here because he ain't like any of the other niggas around here. You got it?
You want I should treat him like white folks?
No. That's not what I said.
This is the thing. I don't even know how this even got political. I don't know why he just automatically judged me off of the fact that I used the name Joe Rogan. But this kind of shows me what the problem is with America these days. People just automatically judge each other without even really getting to know that person and just automatically dismiss them if you don't agree with their opinion or how they feel about certain things. I mean, I could go down a list of things that he said was completely inaccurate because, as you guys know, misinformation, boy, there's you know how you guys call a lot of these gurus and experts goats? Well, when you put me in a room, when it comes to misinformation, intelligence, politics, I do feel I'm pretty damn good at it to the point where I can destroy anybody in a conversation or a debate, especially if they're misinformed and especially if they're just spewing out CNN or Fox News tidbits that they've heard on television. And I could tell you, it honestly sounds to me that he's not very familiar with Joe Rogan, nor has he probably ever even listened to any of Joe Rogan's podcasts. Nazi, racist, rapist, I mean, you would think I said, Peter, du wirst auf meinen Podcast kommen und wenn du es nicht, dann nehme ich es und ich steck dich in den Oven und ich werde dich ausrotten wie alle die Juden. Heil Rogan! That's how he treated me. Like, that's what I was gonna do. I mean, my God, Joe Rogan is the most despicable human being on earth. Is he really? I can say I can probably name 10 off the top of my head right now. And this guy, a podcaster. Anyways, I don't want this to be some I'm defending Joe Rogan thing.
You know what they're trying to do. You can't control the man, and he's got the biggest platform in the world right now. So that's my Joe Rogan. Fuck the noise.
I really don't care. It's just very strange that he shit on what I thought would have been a great conversation. It would have been a great podcast. I know the people within my community who watch me, because let's be real, most of you guys who watch my channel, and according to the analytics, are black and brown people. So, I mean, and we're so contained with these same people. We keep seeing the same people. I've been trying to bring other people on to expose us to the world that's on the outside and all the other great information and things that we can learn about. But apparently I need to stop using the word Joe Rogan. So I will tell you this. First of all, I'm gonna stop advertising anything until the project is completely done. Because this is kind of embarrassing. Because I know I said I was gonna interview Peter Tuchman, and that's not gonna happen. So I'm not gonna do that anymore. But in the end of the day, there's only one person to blame here. It really is. And I think that person owes me an apology. And that is Joe Rogan. You ruined what could have been a great interview. My name is Mark. If you enjoyed this content, please click the like button at the end. Click the bell if you want to get notified every single time I drop a video. And of course, subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And I see you guys in the next video. Peace out.